Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Kara Newman, and this is Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 12th of January, 2019. And today we have a very special guest returning to us. He's down in the rainforest in Peru, I believe. But we have Dante Singh. Hi, Dante. How are you?
In the Sacred Valley in the mountains.
You're in
Hello,
Sacred
how's it going?
Valley.
Yeah, up
Awesome.
in the mountains.
Oh,
Kind of raining, but not a jungle.
I take it all back. Okay, just to introduce who's in our room, we have Carolyn, Christine, Chuck and his mom, Christine, Don, Dante, of course, Ian, Michelle, Reinhardt, I can't see your full name, but another friend of Dante's, Trinity and Tyler. So welcome. So today we're gonna talk to Dante. He's going to channel. He's going to tell us. Also, I'd love for you to talk to us about cacao ceremonies and what you think the importance of.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be a really good thing. But before we do that, I just want to say that
Yeah.
Fridays. Ian, do you want to introduce your channeling class? Okay, maybe not. Are you there, Ian?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ian, and I'm the host of the weekly channeling class for Hucolo, and it's every Friday afternoon at 4:30 Eastern, where channelers and would-be channelers get together in a safe place to where we can practice channeling, share techniques, and you can find it. The Facebook page is under Hucolo Channeling Practice Group. And there the information is posted each week about every Friday's class. So go ahead and join. It's free to join, and we welcome you. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So so welcome. So I've clicked so everyone can see you now, Dante. So you're a little bit we can tell you're far away in the picture, but that's okay.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the picture's a little bit grainy, but I think it's just once the camera settles it a little bit, it'll clear back up. So tell us. So you're in Peru, and what are you doing there?
Yeah, it's an amazing place in the mountains. Many ruins are here in the Sacred Valley, so I visited Machu Picchu and some other sites here, and there's a pretty activated spiritual community in Pisac and around the Sacred Valley. So I've also been offering my own ceremonies and channelings and going to some ceremonies with other people, working with plant medicine, and it's yeah, I'm going, and that's according to many people a chakra center of the earth. Some say the second chakra of the earth. I don't particularly believe it's one chakra or another, though it's a very powerful vortex, and I'm very excited for that. And yeah, it's kind of like an extended vision quest in many ways here in Peru, but I'm also doing a lot of work, so it's amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything important.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, because you do cacao ceremonies, right? And that's really, as well as channeling, that's one of your primary offerings. That's one of the things that you focus on a great deal. Can you just tell us why? What is it? What do they do? What are they for?
Yeah, cacao is it's a heart medicine. So the Mayan people thought of cacao as like this spirit that would emerge from the rainforests in times where there was despair and disconnection between people and each other, and between people and nature as well. And cacao would reawaken the connection and reawaken this like natural joy and harmony within the world. That's what they believed. And when I met a teacher who was from the States, but was traveling through Central America and got the message from the cacao spirit to try and find it. As unlike the medicine traditions in South America, the tradition in what's been lost, or in other ways become very isolated and very small. It's not something very common in the culture anymore. So he went to a remote tribe and asked them if he could buy some cacao from them. He explained first working with the chocolate spirit. After 4 days of living with them, he asked before he was going. And they were just really shocked and said, you know, we've been waiting 400 years for somebody to ask us this question. And you can come back in a week and we'll give it to you, but we won't sell it to you. So they found this very special kind of chocolate. And I think it's very important because really chocolate and coffee and many plants from southern countries, colonized countries, have become such a staple part of our diet. We've addicted to them in such a profound way, yet we've really lost the true connection to what their magical properties are. And chocolate is this gift between lovers in the world, like, oh, it's a romantic Valentine's Day, whatever. But that's because chocolate really has this deep property of awakening this love within us. And if you have a cup of the real fine quality chocolate, you just find your heart is pounding, your body is hot, you feel creative, you feel activated. And to come together in a group of people with the same intention and have the chocolate, it brings so much depth to the experience. The Mayans were in contact with star beings, Pleiadians, who knows? And I really feel that cacao as well is something that assists in opening that connection. As in working with my teacher, we did open up to connections with many different beings, and that was kind of my pathway to channeling. He didn't directly teach me how to channel, but it opened me up to be able to connect in that way. So beyond just this love and creativity, because cacao can be used for meditation, yoga, sound healing, anything that really activates your creative impulse, though it's also very powerful for channeling, and it helps me to focus deeper when I'm doing work and channeling. And yeah, I had a nice cup this morning.
I wonder, like, when you're eating just regular chocolate that you find,
yeah,
you know, pure chocolate, you know, of a high quality, what do you think? I know that's not the same as your sort of super dosed medicinal pure rainforest chocolate, but is there still a way to connect by just?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially people watching this video are probably more open to spiritual energies and entities. If you call upon the chocolate spirit to come, even if you're having that candy bar, obviously better organic, pure, you can get that connection with the chocolate spirit. Though I find that it's really good to experience first the higher quality chocolate, as even within, so first of all, there's a distinction between the Central American cacao, the South American cacao, and the hybrid between the two. I don't claim to know specifically where cacao originated from, though the variety from Central America, like Guatemala, Mexico, and that region, there's a specific kind that has less caffeine and more theobromine, which is named after cacao's name, Theobroma cacao, because the Aztecs and Mayans really thought of it as the food of the gods. So this cacao, it has the ability to make you focus and have that heart activation more, and it doesn't make you feel very sped up and kind of stimulated in the way that a coffee would. The cacao, like I get cacao here in Peru, and it, like I've used it for ceremonies, though it's much more challenging to use in this way because it really is just as stimulating as a cup of coffee. So I have a harder time working with it, and my teacher would never work with it, though, just for the sake of it being here and it being more accessible. I do use it, though I do experience that it's much more challenging. So I actually order cacao from Guatemala to Peru, as challenging as that is, because it is that much better. So even if your cacao is pure, organic, and dark, there's many different varieties, and cacao is such a variable plant that two different beans in the same cacao pod will have a different taste. So all of the plants that grow are susceptible to the vibration, the consciousness that goes into them. And there's also this myth about raw cacao that unless you have a bean in your hand that is clearly raw, your cacao isn't raw. because you need to toast the bean in order to get the shell off and then turn it into a paste or a product. So cacao may be very lightly toasted, though it is always raw. And actually in the bigger companies, they toast it even more than years producing cacao. My teacher has made cacao that's like, they have it to a point that it's super sweet and delicate now, just from really slowly roasting it and really slowly melting it and turning it into the paste.
Okay, that's interesting. It made me think of when you were talking about, you know, coffee is also, and I definitely haven't really thought about it, but of course, coffee has its own energy and teacher associated with it. Have you
absolutely.
Have you experienced that as a sort of ceremony, a coffee ceremony, or sort of a pure ceremony like that?
Coffee is something that I have like maybe a couple of times a month when I feel like I'm very unfocused or are kind of like tired, not from a lack of sleep, but tired from like a mental fog. And it brings me this like clarity, though I think in our culture we've come to overuse that. So we're always kind of dependent on it, and we're not really getting the pure effect of coffee anymore. Though it's in its way definitely a medicine plant as well. For me, it's more of like a quality of just clarity, and it absorbs negative energies as well. So it's a detox. And coffee, in that sense, used in like the coffee enema, for example, is super powerful and super cleansing.
Well, anyone wants to try the enema, get back to us and let us know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of reluctant to do it.
It's down to
You have a
mindfulness,
real
isn't it? Now I'm thinking my next cup of coffee I'm going to have, which I just finished one off. I did drink it completely without any kind of conscious awareness of it. I was just drinking it, but I guess it's really for everything, you know. Turmeric I can see being, you know, all these things. So it's just something to keep in mind, and just the remembering and the honoring of what the earth gives us to. The
teaching that I'm receiving from being in these lands in Guatemala and Peru and working with the plants is that everything is alive and has consciousness, and they hear our thoughts, they hear our intentions. So just even taking a minute before you consume anything and really using it as an aid to your creativity rather than something just to consume, it makes the whole experience so much different, because we have this cultural practice of using a substance or using food to suppress our emotion. But when we really think of how is this energy going to enter my body and enter my life and be used in a creative way, everything changes.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's just that is the mindfulness that we talk about practicing, and just in everything be aware, experience it, sensually honor it, everything. Does anyone have any questions for Dante about this?
I do, Karen.
Go ahead, Trinity. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dante. So
hi.
So does the drinking of that pure chocolate with intention correlate with the heart and the sacral chakra at the same time? Because I think they're both connected. They're both different types of love, but united. Potentially. What do you think?
Cacao is working on all of the chakras. It opens and activates all of them. So definitely it can help you connect there as well. Its primary activation is in the heart. And I find as well in the third eye, if the bean has that more purplish color, it will also affect the third eye. Though, people use cacao for tantra experiences or for womb healing. So it definitely has a kind of, resonance there as well. And as well as cacao can be pretty detoxifying for the digestive tract, it will cleanse the lower chakras too.
Oh, okay. Because when you said that, when you have these ceremonies and you're using that you're drinking chocolate. It's a very deep and wonderful experience. And then I couldn't help it. I was thinking, does it progress eventually into an orgy? Because there's so
Into
much love.
what? Into
I think you got it now, right?
not my ceremonies, not my ceremonies, but I'm sure there are opportunities like that out there.
Yeah, but I was
A lot of
just
ceremonies
kidding.
do bring into a cuddle puddle. You know, cacao also has the oxytocin, which is produced through human touch, so it kind of amplifies the kind of experience of touching in a non-sexual way as well as a tantric way, you could say.
Ah, yeah, that's beautiful. I was also reading that chocolate helps with high blood pressure to bring it back down,
Yes.
which is
Mm-hmm.
again to the heart. So it's a little bit connected to Karen's question of, what kind of chocolate can we get, which is as pure as possible. I mean, you get the 92%
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate, which is kind of bitter. When you buy just a bar of 92%,
Yeah.
72% organic. I mean, if they come from countries, if they're producing
Mm-hmm.
countries like you mentioned, are they going to be better than
Yeah.
produced in Europe
You
and
can.
things like that?
Mm-hmm. You can order through me with a discount the chocolate from Keith, who I've studied with for the past years, and that's the best quality chocolate I've found. Though if you want to look through
Okay.
the chocolate market for other varieties of chocolate, best to go for cacao paste. So a paste is the
Paste.
bean that is ground and kind of melted into a paste, and it contains both the cacao butter and the cacao powder alkaloids. When you separate them, you start to lose the whole experience and the whole benefit of it. So definitely don't go for cacao powder. Go for cacao paste or cacao beans. If you want to make it into a drink, the paste is much better. And beans can go really well in smoothies or just as a snack. And look for cacao from Guatemala, Mexico. This area is quite good. There's some cacao from Bali that I've had that has a similar property, though. I mean, it's so variable that you're only going to really know through experiencing many different kinds of chocolate, how that tastes, how that affects you, how it affects your body, and from that you can kind of tell just through kind of tasting and taking in a little bit if this is the kind of chocolate you really want or not. Though Keith's cacao is what I most recommend.
Thank you. That was a very thorough answer. Thank you very much.
That was a great answer. And also, too, just reminding me about what you were saying about you're talking about the whole plant as opposed to, separating. It's when we start, that's what happens with chemicals, you separate it from its sort of source and you're not using it in its fullness. And then you get its power is definitely reduced. And also it just becomes a very generic and it probably doesn't have this the healing properties that everyone's talking about because it's been sort of obliterated. Michelle, you had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, my daughter has Lyme's disease. So for the last couple of months, she's been doing coffee enemas. She's seen flukes leaving her body. So I know it gets rid of parasites. And I had been told, and this is often the case with me, that I really needed to do a parasite cleanse like a while ago. So I was thinking about trying the coffee enema thing, much to my chagrin in some ways. But also, so I was wondering if you had more information on its how many or what the properties of doing that, the benefits. Including, I mean, obviously it gets rid of parasites, but what else does it do? And okay, thanks.
Yeah, so the coffee enema is very powerfully cleansing for the liver, and it will just kind of reset your liver. It goes all the way up into there, and as well, it does kill parasites. And I find that it's because coffee is very acid, it's good to also balance this out with afterwards doing like a more alkaline, basic sort of enema as well, with maybe like wheatgrass or probiotic, something to kind of balance out the intensity of coffee. Some people will do it every day for a long period of time, but because you're taking all of this caffeine in, it's very stimulating as well. So everything in balance. And I don't know if you want me to speak more about like the idea of parasite cleanses, because I have a lot of other ideas in that nature too.
Yes, that would be good.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, taking the herbal remedies is very helpful. You need to have a very alkaline diet. And when I had liver flukes that were very severe, and it took me like half a year to recover from it. And it was a good thing for me because it taught me how to energetically manage my energy. When we have parasites, it's also tied into, we can be letting other people parasite our psychic energy, or we can be psychically draining other people of energy. So it's always metaphysically linked into that. How do we manage our energy? And I learned a lot about that, and I learned how to really listen to my body, what I need to eat. So for a while I had to cut out grains entirely. And this is going to be different for everyone, though. You want to have an alkaline diet, lower the amount of food, a lot of leafy green vegetables, parasite cleansing herbs, diatomaceous earth every day before eating. 2 tablespoons can be really helpful for a lot of microscopic organisms and for worms and stuff. And now taking it to the like really deep levels, the best thing is really urine therapy. Drinking like your morning urine, like the middle part of it. This is an ancient yoga practice called 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗡𝗡, and our body is like producing exactly the remedy that we need. It's kind of radical, but when I got to doing this at a point of total desperation, and from that point I saw how powerful it was and just kept it as part of my daily regimen. So it requires a bit of a deprogramming as well, and that was really a very, very powerful thing. So you can look into that as well. And the last thing I suggest is as well the certain plant medicines or shamanic medicines, especially the combo frog, will knock out all parasites. It'll reset your immune system and also kind of rewire you in different ways. This will knock out a lot of parasites right away. It's not pleasant. It's not easy, though it does work. And
I've seen it. I have
things
friends
like ayahuasca and San Pedro also can cleanse some parasites too.
So at the very beginning, you said supplements. You said
Yeah, like
supplements. Some examples of
wormwood.
Wormwood.
Let me think. Cloves. It really depends because different supplements will work on different parasites, but wormwood and cloves and Mexican marigold. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll think of more later, but in general, having like turmeric and cloves and garlic and cardamom in your diet, those things prevent a lot of parasites from even coming. Yeah, there's so many different. Oh, golden seal. Golden seal is a very powerful one.
Were you trying to get rid of, were you having physical issues that you were trying to heal?
Yeah, with the liver flukes, I would just, after every meal, I would kind of pass out. I would just, because they're feasting on what I'm eating and very heavy. So I was in chronic fatigue. I was having a lot of liver pain, a lot of digestive issues, brain fog, and this was going on for a year and a half before I really realized what the issue was. And then there was also the issue of candida and all sorts of different things going on. So yeah, and beyond that, like traveling in certain countries, it's very easy to get more microscopic parasites that are more acute, but are in a way having more harsh symptoms. And for those, the diatomaceous earth is save all, and as well
Did you say
the
it's
grapefruit
that
seed
twice a
extract.
day, every day?
Because diatomaceous earth absorbs nutrients, I would only take it once a day.
Okay.
So it's going to take in all of the, like, you won't be able to get the nutrients from your food. So
Right.
wait 2 hours before and after eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
That was really
You're
informative.
welcome.
I like that.
I
I was
have a
thinking,
question
I was
about
thinking I'm justified in drinking chai. So, because
Yeah.
it's turmeric and cloves and, you know, all of those things. So I was like, yay, I can keep drinking my chai. Yeah.
Chai's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a friend who was having a lot of issues for a long time, and she was doing all sorts of like fasts and detoxes, and found that the best remedy was actually simple kitchen spices like that. So
Right.
it's so important that we have them in our diet and even take more than we think we need.
Right. Trinity, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yes, forgive me if I over talked. So about the diatomaceous earth, I'm interested in using it, and then I was reading how sharp edged it can be. Like if somebody has
Yeah.
What do you call it, diverticulitis, or tendency towards inflammation of the intestine, is that earth recommendable or not, is my question, if you know that.
I would just try it and see how your body responds. It's razor sharp to parasites, but it absorbs toxic buildup through your intestines. So it's going to just clump up a lot and flush it out. And the important thing with it is that you drink a lot of water as well. Though, I mean, everybody has a different response to all of these things, so there's no real universal answer.
Right. But it doesn't hurt the intestines in itself, right?
No, no.
Okay. That was my question, because I had read some reviews, people, and I was like, oh boy, why do I want to take that in? It sounds like it's going to cut me up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
Yeah.
Did you have a question? Go ahead. Oh, no, Trinity just asked her a question. Did anyone else have a question? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. All right. So I think if we can, is there anything else you wanted to share about diet or fasting or herbs or something?
Just really emphasizing that last idea quickly, that everybody's body is different and everyone's going to respond differently. So the idea of like to eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, it's really about listening to yourself and being kind of courageous to try new things and listen to how it feels and have clear intention as you go about it, because it's a co-creation, not a solution in that sense.
I understand. I think that the mindfulness is so key. I'm wondering, like, with people, because you have been sort of in Guatemala, have you been to the tribe where your teacher learned everything, or?
He won't even tell me where it was. He went to many different places, and he only found indigenous people in Central America that were using cacao in a shamanic way. So because of the conquest, cacao actually has really not been used in the same way, as many of the Mayan cultural practices have kind of become more isolated as Catholicism has taken over.
Right.
So it's still kind of known to the Mayan and as people that cacao is their sacred plant, though the use of it is not in the same ceremonial way. And that's a little bit different in Mexico, which I haven't experienced clearly, but there it's more that cacao is used as an adjunct to peyote.
Okay, so it just amplifies the peyote in some way.
Yeah, cacao is a MAOI inhibitor, and it's a master plant. So any other plant, including just like herbs, will really be activated through cacao. So I have a friend who includes like 50 different herbs in small amounts in her cacao ceremonies. This cacao really just opens the doorway for all of the plant spirits to come through in a stronger way.
Chocolate chai. I'm thinking. All right. Was there anyone else that had a question? If you do, if not, we're going to move on to the channeling.
Oh, yes,
Yay.
Karen, I have one more question. Because you just reminded me, Karen, when you talked about chocolate. Oh, you said something about tea. Anyway, there is also a chocolate tea that's out there. Is that good?
Yeah, it's tasty. It's just made from the chocolate shells. I've just started using it a couple times myself. It has like a similar. It's a very subtle effect of chocolate. I don't know that much about it.
Oh, okay. And I just want to say, for those who can't go out,
tasty. It's made of chocolate shells.
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to say, for those who can't go out and get all of those spices and supplements, I was with a naturopathic doctor in Austria some years ago, and he did a parasitic cleanse with me, and he said just protein and vegetables, that's all you can eat. And after 3 weeks, they die anyway, because they can't eat off of those foods. They eat off of carbs and white flours and sugars. So I just did a very strict, no sugar in any way, shape, or form, and just protein and vegetables of any form, and especially within 3 weeks. So I just wanted to say that, because sometimes it may not be possible to do the very deep, but if somebody just wants to get rid of the basic parasites, that's one way to do it if they can't afford to go out and get all those things. Thank you. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. That is true. I was actually looking up some stuff, and the way to starve any parasites is not to give them sugar. Sugar is just a breeding ground for it, so leafy green vegetables, proteins, the way to go. So, okay. So where are we now? I would like to ask you, if you would be so kind as to bring in you channel the Pleiadians and maybe some other groups. Whomever comes, we're happy to have a conversation.
Yeah. Great. I'm excited to start channeling, and I have been kind of experimenting with some other groups. So if they are requested, maybe they will join. But
who are they? So we can know to request them.
Sirian, Arcturian, Sasani. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we request all of them. Whoever wants to come.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if it happens. Okay, cool. We are here, and we do say a pleasant day to you. It is a great pleasure for us to visit you in your reality, and we thank you for the opportunity to expand and grow in our connection to Source and all that is in this way, as we as well offer you the same opportunity. How are you all doing today?
We are fine. And whom are we speaking with?
Oh, this is the representative of the Pleiadian Council. So we speak as a collective consciousness, in the sense that we are all tapped in through our own higher minds to a greater awareness throughout our civilization.
We welcome you. Thank you for coming to us.
Yes, it is our pleasure. We would like to begin by speaking a bit about this idea of living your own love, as it is so commonly known in your world that you must follow your heart. And many of you have a different idea of what it means to follow your heart than what is actually the highest truth for you. Now, our colleague, you could say the Bashar, says to follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on any particular outcome. And you can simplify this by simply saying, do what you love the very most in all moments, always. And this is enough for you to raise your frequency. It is your unique passion, your unique interest that allows all that is to be all that it is. Each and every one of you is totally unique in your way, with your own interests, your own experiences, your own connections to beings and realms beyond your physical reality that you can channel into your lives at any moment you wish. Though by being uniquely who you are, you make this possible. The universe requires that you be exactly who you are. And this is why we want to speak a bit about this idea of filters and hooks. So, oftentimes, you believe something about reality without questioning where that belief originates, or if that belief is an option or an ultimate truth. Now, in order to be inaugurated in your world in this sense, you go through the process of conditioning through your parents and through your schools and through these unconscious filters that are occurring through the moment that you enter your mother's womb. Belief systems are installed that distort your experience of reality. Now, it is important in understanding belief systems that you do not fight your beliefs, because it is belief alone that keeps you in existence. If you released all of your belief systems, you would stop being physical and go to some other reality. Belief is what creates experiences. Yet you have so many beliefs that you do not even question that get in the way. And every single one of these beliefs is like a lens. Imagine that you are in your eye doctor's office and you are staring at the screen and the doctor is pressing the keys, and each key brings a different lens, and you are asked to see which brings you to see the letters on the screen most clearly. Now, your beliefs are like this, and you are your own doctor. And when you connect to your guides at higher levels, you can ask them to switch the filters of those beliefs and see how that changes your reality. You will find that as you start to really question your own beliefs, where they come from, and if they are optional, you will have a completely different experience of your own reality. And this will allow you to open to a greater degree of contact with your own guides in higher dimensions. You must first believe it is possible, and believe that all of you are equal in your ability to open this gateway, because you are. You must also start to see that there are many sources outside that are injecting beliefs subliminally. And when you can see where you are attempting to be hooked from, you can shut down that connection to that outside source and choose your own belief instead. For example, your television and your internet and all of these things are always bombarding you with new beliefs that you would like to adopt. And these beliefs are programming you in a way that you can be more easily influenced to do certain things or buy certain things or behave in certain ways, when really we want to tell you that it is all inside you, that the ability to express yourself, to be who you really are, must first come from within. And it is important in these times that you take more amount of your time retracting from those outside influences and really using the tools that you have, your meditation, your energy works, your sound experiences, and so on and so forth, to really, really see who you are beyond this source of outside influence, beyond the ideas you have been taught, beyond all of this other information coming to you. And when you really allow yourself to tune into your own heart, to tune into your own preferences, you will have a much different experience. And this leads us to one final idea, the idea of needs, preferences, and desires. For so often in your reality, you confuse them. Now, you need things. You need to breathe, to drink water, to have a proper home, to sleep, to eat. And you also need relationships and creative expression. These are needs. They are not desires. And when you start to think that, oh, perhaps you don't need this so much, that this is just a needy sort of demand upon reality, you actually cut yourself off. You have to really, in every moment, meet first your primary needs and move upwards from there. Now, here's the difference between desires and preferences. Because desires can be your greatest ally or they can be your greatest enemy. When you are desiring the things that you need, first and foremost, you allow the great energy of your own higher self to channel through you in the most powerful way to be all of who you are. Desire is a very powerful energy. And when you desire something without attaching to it, you set about magnetic structures at higher levels of reality that bring about that manifestation. And you can use these tools, this understanding of the law of attraction, to really get anything you want. Yet if you don't start questioning why you actually want it, you may find that you are manifesting things and then not knowing what to do with the thing that you worked so hard to manifest and understood all of this energy and so on and so forth. So here's the difference between your desires and your preferences. Your preferences are what make you unique. Your preferences are your unique variations on your needs. So yes, your needs are to eat and to experience your reality in a form of shelter that is comfortable for you. And the more unique way that you express that, the unique things that you choose to surround yourself with, are very important for you to express yourself into your reality. So instead of seeing the world around you and seeing what other people prefer, because many of them are not really preferring what is truly their own unique heart's preference, they are preferring what they have been told to prefer. When you can really make a separation for a moment from that outside world and see what is inside you, what is it that you would prefer, you can allow yourself to be more uniquely yourself. You have a preference of how you would like to relate to others, which sorts of people you would like to relate to, which sorts of ideas you would like to bring into your life. And by embodying those in the most full and complete way, you allow yourself to be all that you are. And when you are all that you are, you give back to all that is in the most perfect way. So we hope this understanding has been clear to you, that you can learn how to question what is motivating you beneath the surface so that you can align your desires with your needs and you can discover your own preferences to choose the most high and uniquely your own reality. And in this way, you will be giving back to all that is. You will be contributing to your ascension planetary level in that sense, in the most perfect way. So we thank you for allowing us to share this information with you at this time. It is a very great understanding that will allow you to ascend to higher levels. And we would like now to reflect to you any questions, any musings, any curiosities, anything that is truly exciting for you. We will do our best to reflect and awaken you to the answers you know to be within you in your own higher mind.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I know Trinity has a question. Go ahead, Trinity.
All right.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. I have thought of you often since we last spoke a few months ago.
All right.
I have about 3 questions, if I may.
All right.
And well, first, I want to say about what you just shared. There are some people who are born with many different talents, and they don't know which one to choose. And so they can go many years having just a little bit of talent and, I mean, practicing a little bit of each one, but not knowing which one to choose.
All right. Well, then again, it is to choose which one is truly most exciting for them instead of which one would bring them to be the most representative example of what others want for them. And this is again why you have to listen fully to yourself. When you allow yourself to discover your own preferences of which talent is most exciting for me, which one of these talents makes me feel like I am being most of myself, you will allow for that to manifest in the clearest way. Though you don't necessarily always have to choose just one, because many of these talents have different sorts of realms of expression that then will bleed through into a bigger picture. So again, it is a moment-to-moment thing. Perhaps in one moment you feel most excited to explore one talent, and by doing that, you're opening up different pathways of connection to your own higher mind, your own higher self in that sense. And then all of a sudden you feel more passionate about a different talent. And to switch does not mean that you are forsaking the progress you have made on the first path. It simply means that the purpose of that first path was to open you to that greater degree of connection and that greater degree of passion. And through now being more open, being a more full embodiment of your channel in that sense, you can then move on to what is in that new now moment more passionate, more exciting.
Thank you. I think that'll be very helpful for many people. Thank you very much.
We hope so. Yes, we thank you too.
Yes.
Something more you would like to say?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right.
So I received some Pleiadian DNA, a little of an infusion.
You received it, or you activated what was already within you?
It was given to me by my future partner.
Right.
Yes. And so my heart rate has increased and my sensual energy has increased. So is that Pleiadian DNA or is that something unrelated?
By connecting to that soul aspect of a future probable partner in that sense, you are, yes, activating dormant strands of your DNA that are correlated to both your sensual expression, which is part of your own soul's expression, and yes, you have had Pleiadian DNA within you your whole lifetime. And so it seems like you receive it, though really that DNA, those codings that have been within you are now transforming. They are now activating. And so it is something new because the coding of them is changing, though the blueprint of that has always been within you. And so every time you make this parallel connection to a future timeline or to a parallel version of yourself, the greatest talents and gifts and qualities that are within you at an etheric level, at a blueprint level, then come into the manifestation in your body and open a pathway for you to become more of yourself.
Okay, so he actually gave me some of his DNA.
Yes.
Some of his DNA. So that activated the DNA that I already had. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh.
It was a vibrational resonance. And this happens every time that you engage with another person, that you are transferring energies, though it is not the same sort of transference that you would think it to be, as the DNA itself is a vibrational energy field. And then within you, that vibrational energy field changes to match the other vibrational energy field outside you. Does that make more sense?
Yes, thank you. Now,
the thing is, thank you.
Now, the thing is that my blood pressure has gone up 20 points, which is normally not considered healthy on the earth, but I don't know if there's such a thing as a healthy higher rate of blood pressure because it's due to this Pleiadian energy, or is it unhealthy? I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, I will go to the doctor. I just wanted to ask you if
it
that's
is a momentary side effect. We do sense that this will change, though, of course, continue, yes, to seek out medical advice and these other sorts of opinions. What we would say is that because now you are activating more of your passion, you are more in touch with yourself, your heart is expanding, and your heart is now resonating at a higher frequency. And in this higher resonance, certain old belief systems, certain programs are now being purified at this time. And because these programs are based in what you could consider anxiety, it brings that emotion to the surface. Though as you use that energy, and channel it into the direction of your passion, these things will transform. There will be a greater process of emotional release. And as you come to identify what sorts of misaligned beliefs are creating this feeling of discomfort, you will be able to use that energy as pure life force. And it will be creative energy that allows you to be more masterful in your life.
Well, that is awesome, as we say down here. Thank you very much.
Oh, we do thank you as well.
Okay.
I will let other people ask.
Okay, great. Okay, Udi Shaman had a question. Go ahead. Udi Yaman, sorry. Udi Yaman, go ahead.
Hello, greetings to the Pleiadians.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. So I had one or two questions. They're slightly personal questions, but I think they'll also be somewhat general. So the first one is, I felt that I've had a negative influence from my family in terms of vibrations that I get. My vibration is sort of suppressed in some ways. So any advice on how to deal with that and how to break out of that negative influence?
Are you living with your family presently?
Yes. As of now, yes.
All right. And so you feel like their energy is interfering in your field?
In my spiritual development, or in general, I would say, there are some positive aspects, but there are also negative aspects of their vibrations.
Yes. So we would say that sort of idea of a codependency as well as an expectation that is getting in the way here. And in order to really transform this, you have to truly learn how to source love from within yourself first. You have to learn to disappoint people and be happy about it, knowing that their disappointment is their process of transformation. It is their way of releasing the expectation and the attempt to acquire love from an outside source. Yes, you need each other to reflect the love that you are, though until you are internally connected to your own source of love, any reflection of that love will be a distorted means of amplifying your innate love force. So, creating clear boundaries, telling them what your preferences are, and being able to face their own disappointments will be the greatest path to transformation. They bring up great emotion. Yet every time you feel this emotion, it is a purification. So get comfortable in going to those emotional depths and finding peace and love there. Bring the peace and love you know to be your source self into the things that you are feeling through this process, and really make clear what you want and what you don't, and make that a clear statement to all of reality. The more you allow yourself to do this, the more you will, with time, become more free and sovereign in that sense. Can we clarify this any further?
That's pretty interesting. I think I got the message. And the other question was really about chakras, and particular the heart chakra.
Yes.
So I feel that there are certain blockages in my heart chakra. So any advice on how to like clear out those blockages?
Again, these are blockages relating to a codependent sort of love, that you are in a way fearing love because love has been hooked to things that are negative. Love has come also with expectations and demands and the assumption that you must behave in a certain way. And because you have come to subconsciously associate love with these things, it is much harder to take in that energy that is pure. So you must dissociate love with everything that is negative and come to experience a pure state of love. As you open yourself more to your source self and experience source's unconditional love for you, this will be easier and easier to do.
That's very interesting. Thank you very much. I'll let the next.
We do thank you
person
as
ask
well.
their
Yes.
question. Yeah.
Thank you. We have Chuck's mom, Stephanie. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, so my questions, it's kind of complicated because I've been working with it since November, this pain I have. And it was about the same time I decided to start working on some ancestral healing. But also the pattern of pain is also the same pattern of pain my husband, my son, and my daughter Chuck, we've all shared the same pain. It's between the shoulder blades and the spine on the right or left side, and it keeps coming back in one or all of us. And it's just this persistent thing. It's been very confusing.
All right. So it is indeed a pattern that is passed down genetically as well as through the conditioning processes. Because it is affecting subconscious levels, simply the way that you behave and the way that you think and the way that you act in that sense passes this energy field on to others. And it is coming to you both from your husband as well, because it is in a way a magnetic energy that will attract others who carry that same pattern. The pattern itself is one of false obligation. So when you are connecting to your shoulders, this deals with responsibility. And responsibility, simply put, is the ability to respond. Though when you take on too much weight, thinking that you must behave in a certain way, that you must do a certain thing, that you must play a certain role for someone or for the world, you actually distort your own natural state of being. And so establishing a new belief in the reality that your own passion, your own joy, your own uniqueness is the best way that you give back to source and to others, this pattern will dissolve more and more. As well, to do body work and dig into the emotional qualities associated with this pain will bring a greater sense of relief. You must greater freedom. You must come to question, what does freedom really mean to me? And what does freedom really mean to me? Not to the world, not to others, not to my friend, not to my husband, not to my child. What does freedom mean to me? And let yourself choose that. Let yourself redefine that in every moment, and it will carry you to the next stages of evolution.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was that it? Was that your
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yes.
Could we elaborate any further? Would you like to say more?
Well, yeah, definitely the feeling obligated, obligations, responsibilities is a huge part of my life, and keeping those. And then definitely trying to meet others' expectations of who I'm supposed to be has been huge throughout my life. And me fighting against that to try to get them to see me as something else. And so definitely still struggle. Yeah.
So the resistance to the obligation and the resistance to the expectation will actually reinforce the pattern. It is in a sense, a well-intended way of trying to transform this, though it is not the clearest way. Instead, you must first establish who you really want to be and how you really want to behave, how you really want to relate to others inside, and then come into a state of total acceptance of any demand or pushing or pulling that you will experience. Accept that without fighting it, without making it wrong. Simply see it as their process, their experience. And when you can stay peaceful and unaffected by the demands from outside, this will again transform in a clearer way. Now, when it comes to the responsibilities and the obligations that you already have yourself engaged in, it is very important to be able to accept the probability that you don't do it in the clearest way. Another subtle layer of this is being the best version of yourself. Though you must understand that you are already always the best version of yourself, and that source cannot make a mistake. When you seem to make a mistake, that is an opportunity to learn and grow. But you can only learn and grow in the highest way when you accept your present circumstances and you accept how you created them. Any degree of resistance that you offer is only going to make the process slower and more painful.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be, I think I definitely need to explore more about not having the resistance. I'm not sure if I know how to do that, so I got to figure that out.
Well, you release resistance when you neutralize your definition of the present circumstance. If there's pain in your body and you say that this pain is something bad about me, this pain is something I've done wrong, this pain is something that I need to fix, this pain is something I need to work on, you are in a state of resistance. When you experience that pain and you simply allow it to be an energy field, a sensation, in that way, calling pain sensation rather than pain is one form of allowing yourself permission to release resistance. So experience it as pure energy, release your definition about it, release the idea that it has to change, and simply allow it to be what it is. The way you release resistance is by accepting. And so you must see that what is always accepted by source. If it exists, source, God, or all that is, however you wish to call that, accepts it. So you must see from that level of perspective that source has already accepted it. And you come into alignment with source by accepting it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Thank you.
We do thank you, yes.
Thank you.
So acceptance will be amplified when you really, truly do what you love the very most in every moment. We just have to say that again because we love saying it.
Perfect. Thank you. Caroline has a question. Go ahead, Caroline.
All right.
Greetings, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes.
Hello again. I have a question concerning soul names. My question
names
is...
or mates?
Soul names. The name.
All right. Yes.
Does each soul have a name? Who gave that name? And how might we retrieve it?
Your soul does not have a name. Your soul, in a way, has a specific vibration that is a unique frequency that you can tap into and translate into a name in your language. And in that sense, you can rename yourself. And there are many who have become attuned to tap into the frequency of the soul and channel a soul name. They'll understand that, again, your soul frequency is evolving and you have many different probable timelines. So in every timeline that you go, your frequency is a little bit different. And you may find that you may change your soul name many times if you really choose to adopt this as your name in your present life.
I'm asking because my name, Carolyn, has never seemed like a good name for me or my true name. And so I have difficulty. I don't know how to do this, calling myself.
Then again, open yourself to the possibility of playing with many new names. And you may find that one name in particular comes to you. As you discover more of what is uniquely you and what brings your heart the greatest openness, the greatest connected feeling, you will be on the correct pathway of discovering what your new name may be. And this is a really wonderful permission slip that allows you to, in a way, rebirth yourself, to become a more tuned in version of who you really are. So allow yourself to play with it and allow yourself to experience all that arises within you as you choose different possible names. You may find that you use one for a period of time and then try a different name and finally rest in one name. Or you may find that your soul has many different names because really you are a multifaceted being. You do have a personality construct with many different aspects. And each one of these aspects plays a different role in your life. So you may find that maybe you carry one name for a certain degree of time and then you change to a new name. Or you may find that one aspect of you has one name and another aspect of you has another name. And then you could say that your full name is the combination of the names of all of those different aspects of your soul. Does that make sense? Can you play with that?
Yes, thank you. I have a
Yes,
quick...
and let it be a fun game. Let it be a creative exploration with no need to get to any specific end result.
Thank you. I have a second question, if possible.
All right. All is possible.
Thank you. My question concerns telepathy.
Yes.
I would like to know, could you suggest simple exercises for working on and developing telepathy, especially with children?
Really imagine what it's like to be that other. And as you do, pay attention to the sensations and the emotions and the images that arise in your own consciousness. Telepathy is a empathic experience, and it occurs through matching the feeling state or being able to tune into the emotional state of the other. When you can imagine how that other being feels, you can start to get a sense of the different beliefs, ideas, and thoughts contributing to that feeling state.
As well, okay. So would you have a specific type of example of an exercise I could conduct, let's say, with my daughter? I feel a great potential for us communicating telepathically.
How old is your daughter?
She's 5.
All right. Then you can suggest to her that you are going to attempt to read her thoughts by feeling what she is feeling, and then imagine that you are her. Imagine that you are in her body, and see the different emotions and thoughts that arise and feel. Ask her to do the same thing to you. Imagine that she is you and see the things that she feels. As she does, she tunes as well into different thoughts, different ideas, different memories that you have. You can also imagine different streams of energy connecting your chakras, particularly at the heart. See that green energy field of your heart expanding to meet hers, and witness how that allows that emotional energy and read that emotional energy in that way.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
We do thank you as well. Our great pleasure. Now, as well, you can begin to extend this beyond to the non-physical realms, because the first degree of contact with non-physical beings, such as ourselves, is the emotional resonance with our energy. And you may feel this as the different energy fields that arise within you as we speak to you. How does this feel? How does that awaken an energy in your body? In your meditation, you can ask for this energy to come to you and pay attention to how you feel. Different thought forms will arise as you stay present and focused in that emotional state that is associated with a specific frequency from a different intergalactic or angelic or other sort of non-physical being or group of beings.
Thank you.
We do thank you as well. It is a great pleasure to meet you again.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Michelle.
Hello.
How are you? Thank you for being here.
We are fantastic.
Yay. Just curious, as a council, are you made up of many different types of Pleiadians? Yes. So what that might include blue, silver, and what else?
Can you say that one more time? We didn't quite hear that.
Oh, I was just wondering what types that might include. Like,
what types of Pleiadian beings?
Correct.
All right. Well, there is one specific representative that is a soul aspect of the channel from the channel's oversoul that is then telepathically linked in with all beings of our world. We are stationed around the star Alcyone, and we bridge time-space realities. So, in other words, we are at a density that is not bound by time. We can time travel, and we can get tuned into the collective consciousness of our world at many different times and spaces. We are specifically of the Pleiadian beings that are more humanoid in their nature, though through our star system there is the ability to as well telepathically link into the consciousness of the other different groups of beings that inhabit the very large cluster of stars you call the Pleiades. Certain of us are more than others, and in a sense, we are all linked in. There are members of what is considered this council that is the sort of forum of different sorts of ideas that allow for the complete understanding to come through channels that are of non-humanoid nature as well.
Thank you very much. So I was thinking a few days ago that I wanted to fire my higher self. I feel like my higher self doesn't like me, and it likes me to suffer. I feel like a puppet on a string a lot. So anyway, that I don't know.
That may be a real experience. Again, this is what we begin feel that there's a belief between. You broke up quite a lot. We are both speaking at the same time, so do continue.
No, I was done.
Are you there?
Yes.
All right. What was the continuation of that idea?
I don't know that there was one. I just, I was thinking about, okay, so for instance, my daughter is very psychic and she has conversations with my higher self occasionally. And my higher self said, according to what my daughter's information was, she's like, he just thinks you're stupid. And that you weren't like, he took on this contract, like you're not like of his thing. It's not a love situation. Like, and I seem to go through lots and lots. My favorite way to learn, it appears, is to hit my head in a brick wall like a million times until like my brain pops out and I can't take it anymore. And then maybe I learn a little bit and I change for a minute, but then I revisit it. Anyway.
All right.
So I don't know if A, that's true about my higher self, which is Arcturian, at least as far as I know. And B, what the process would be to find, if that is the case, then I would like to work with someone who has my highest interest at heart and doesn't like for me to go through trials and trials and trials to learn. So any information?
This sort of connection you are experiencing with your higher self is real. The experience of it is real. Though there is, again, here, what we begin, there is a belief that you have inherited that your learning must be challenging and that you must, in a way, bow yourself down before what is divine or what is higher. Now, simply because something is higher than you does not mean it is better or worse. And if you really had a clear reading of your own higher self's message and frequency that was not interrupted or sort of distorted through this filter, you would experience pure and complete unconditional love entirely. Now, this filter here is part of a religious programming that has been a very big filter in your world. The religious institutions force a belief, even onto people who are otherwise secular, that you are less than the divine, that the divine must be pleased, worshipped, or sacrificed for in order for you to receive its energy, when actually that is not true in any sense at all. You are your higher self. You are an aspect of your higher self. And if you change your belief systems to see yourself as good, to see yourself as worthy, to see yourself in accordance with this universal truth of total acceptance, total forgiveness, that your spiritual self is always forgiving of you and accepting of your mistakes. And if you integrated this as your belief system, you would have a much clearer connection and relation to your higher self. Now, you have said your higher self is Arcturian, though your higher self is simply your higher self. Your higher self is the you that is one with Source. The Arcturian being you are connecting with is a soul aspect that is part of your higher self, that is another aspect of your oversoul that is making a parallel connection to you. So you can get connected to your higher self through that Arcturian connection in the same way that this channel is opening to his higher self through this connection to a Pleiadian soul aspect. Though again, your higher self itself is not gendered, your Arcturian aspect is in this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so okay. If that is accurate, if I am my higher self and this higher self that I'm dealing with did not take me on as a project for someone else, that means that basically I'm just a jerk. My higher self. or I love to inflict lots of pain. I'm not really
Yes, that is the truth. That is the truth about your personality, but not about your higher self. Your higher self's energy is being distorted through this belief system that says the pain is good for me. So you have to discover why you believe there is some reward for the pain and for the suffering. What could be good about it?
Well, I've had...
Because...
Go ahead.
Yes, yes.
Well, I've had discussions where, okay, so my like major life kind of biggest trial has been alcoholism, right? And
yes.
I would be like, well, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. And I would be talking to, say, a channeler, and they're like, well, you're going to, because your higher self says you're going to, because you learn faster that way. And I'm like, but I don't want to. And I feel hijacked a lot of times, like somebody's got a remote control. And I mean, I've had my reality disintegrate enough where I've seen, you know, I'm a puppet on a bunch of strings, and behind me is my higher self and my soul group, and they're on a bunch of strings, and behind that, 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 you know. So I went...
Again, here is a belief system distorting a perception. These strings are channels. They are pathways of connection that allow energy to flow. But by comparing those channels to the strings of a puppeteer, you are enforcing a false reality in which you are controlled. This is a real experience, though this is only an experience through belief. So again, if you release the belief that your higher self or any force beyond you is controlling you, or that any destiny really exists as a definitive pathway that you are heading towards, your reality will change. So a psychic may tune into the sense that you are going to do something again, yet by telling you this, they are, in a way, giving you a choice point. Every moment is a choice point, and that is a highly activated choice point. Do you accept what is told to you and surrender to what you don't prefer? Or do you choose to see the power and the choice that you have in every moment? Do you understand?
Yes, I do understand.
No one is in control of you. Do you understand?
Well, I understand that in theory, but it doesn't feel like that sometimes, for sure. Although I've been
Yes,
practicing,
because there's that belief.
right. I've been practicing using my thoughts and words about being a sovereign being.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, I had a healing yesterday and I had little dudes peek their head in. And I was like, I'm a sovereign being. I'm giving healing and I need you to leave my space. Okay. So, but
yes.
I guess if I pulled that out more often when I'm really feeling
Oh, yes.
smushed and like blindsided and like I can't think for my own self, like I'm making bad decisions, that would probably be really helpful. All right.
Yes. And this belief in the experience of control, the belief that you could be controlled, attracts beings who will attempt to control you, both in human and in non-physical form. So by practicing the belief in spiritual sovereignty and in choice, you will begin to attract beings who will not control you at all, and who will simply offer you love and frequency. Then you choose to do what you will with that love and frequency. Beings at this higher level have no desire to impose anything upon your free will. We will simply offer you a pathway that you can choose. And as you choose it, things will work out differently for you. So again, you must continuously practice this belief. At any moment you feel that strong emotional energy, neutralize that charge, realize that you create the meaning around that experience, and you can use that negative frequency in a positive way when you really tune into your choice. Use this idea: I have the power to choose. I have the power to choose. I am in control of what I choose. I may not be in control of the universe, but I am in control of what I choose here and now. And say this to yourself regularly until this is a new pathway, literally a new neural pathway and a new energy pattern. As well, we would suggest that you make a vision board of all of the different ideas, all of the different experiences and sorts of connections that you would desire to have, including your connections to non-physical beings, as well as the life you would prefer and the kinds of and qualities of relationships you would prefer. Make a vision board with different images you either print out or cut out and put on a cardboard page and look upon it daily. You can also put on different words that represent choice, that represent freedom, that represent good value, that I am worthy, I am good, Source loves me, God loves me, all of these kinds of ideas, and system with these ideas in a way. And of course, as you do flood yourself with a new energy, a positive energy, you will experience a detox symptom. So be prepared to face that as well, and trust that all is able to be used in a positive way, and that your source self is innately in love with you.
That's sweet. So I have a really short question just out of curiosity. Yes. When I got either my 3rd or 4th level of Reiki, I started getting like downloads in my ears of lots of energy. And it felt to me, this is how I perceived it, that the Pleiadians were on my right side and the Arcturians were on my left side. I just want to know if that's accurate. And I would like to know, it was so strong. It was so strong. It like kept me up. This is one of the times I took a drink after not drinking for 3 years, 3.5 years. And because the energy was so strong, I was just like, oh my God, I can't not sleep. Like I gotta chill out somehow. But so what was that energy for at that time?
That energy was an attunement to this higher frequency. It was a connection with your guides and the experience of one energy being on the right and one energy being on the left, is a way for you to get a clearer sense of relationship of which purposes these frequencies represent. The right creative side is very much in tune with the Pleiadian frequency of love, passion, joy, simply allowing life to be a wondrous game in that way. And the Arcturians are a bit more focused in their ability to transmit very specific energy patterns with very specific purposes. And so the left logical brain hemisphere is a logical place for you to receive that energy. Though understand that we are here and now with you. Everything is here and now, and it is inside of you. It is the frequency that you emit, and your choice to connect to a higher degree of your own soul's energy that allows these energies to channel through you and come to you.
Those are pretty strong energies, Guy.
Yes. And you will come to find that our energies are much more natural as you raise your frequency, because the feeling that this is very intense and very strong is simply a side effect of the gap between vibrational frequencies. As your own frequency raises, the intensity of our frequency will lessen, and you will find that it's much easier to be in touch with our frequency. So this sensation, this quality of energy, you must, in a way, allow yourself to go through it and not try to get rid of it, because there's nothing too strong for you. The universe would not give you something that is too intense energetically for you to handle. Now, this idea of sleeping and not sleeping is something to investigate, as you certainly definitely need sleep. Though in a way, the meditative degrees of focus that you are able to maintain are more important than your actual unconscious sleep states. As you ascend to higher frequencies, you will anchor yourself in a very high frequency state in which you are not sleeping, but you are in a total state of rest and equilibrium. And in a way, you rejuvenate your body more in this state than you do in the unconscious sleep state.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that. That always confused me. And it was like the best drugs ever. But anyway.
Yes. Do enjoy the high.
So I don't know. I'd like to connect with you in that way a little bit. I could use a
just raking yourself up again.
Raking myself up again. Okay, I'll do it. All right. Much love. Thank you.
All right. We are always with you. Love you very much. Yes. Hello? We do not hear anything any longer.
I think there's a question from 𝗖𝗢𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓.
All right.
𝗖𝗢𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓, are you here?
Sorry, I was muted.
Hello,
Sorry. Wait, please. Everyone wait. I have some questions from the chat. I was back. I was muted and I didn't realize it, but please let me ask the questions from in the chat. Thank you. The question from Lilypad was that she said there was an energy pressing on her heart and her head early in the morning. She didn't know what was going on, and she wanted to know if you can tune in and say who they were.
Arcturian frequencies are present with you at this moment, helping you to adjust your chakra system more. So open yourself to invite them and be present with this frequency. It is a very pleasant and powerful healing energy present with you today and always.
Thank you. Peter asked the question. He said, I think I've activated my Pleiadian DNA by calling upon Alcyon to imbue him with her energy. I blended with this energetically. Yes. Is this how I've activated my Pleiadian DNA? Can you confirm?
Yes, that's a very powerful permission slip. Using the channel that you have connected to that star Alcyon allows for this frequency transference to happen in a very quick way. So you are continuously activating more of your Pleiadian DNA as you open to this connection more and more, and as you become more truly yourself. So every time you use this meditation and this permission slip, more of this energy will be activated. And as you live your life, again, even more of these genetic codes will become activated, dominant in that sense.
Thank you. There's a follow-up question, and he says, I send love for an hour daily to 4 people who are ill. How are my remote healing efforts for those people, and can he do better?
As a distance healer, there is nothing you can do better or worse in that sense. It is more the other person's willingness to receive that frequency and adjust to that frequency. So I guess we could say there is one more thing that would assist this better, and that is to allow more non-attachment on your end to the results of this healing. This will allow you to be more open, more blissful, more resonant in your transmission of this energy, and those people must do their work to raise their frequency to the vibration that you are sending to them.
Thank you very much. Krellick has a question. Why don't you go ahead, Krellick?
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yes, hi. I actually have 3 questions, if that would be allowed.
All right.
My first question.
But not 4.
Yes, not 4. My first question is, I've pretty much been told for like my entire life by both like people here on Earth and some people who are off-world, some extraterrestrials. The common theme that I hear is that I am of an unusual character and that I'm very analytical. I'm not really sure why this is. I'm not sure if there is a galactic standard for what normal is. With this unusual characterness that people seem to comment me on, is this due to like past life experiences, or is there something I need to know about?
There is a certain frequency to your soul that could be described as a wanderer soul that makes it so that your energy is a bit more alien, is a bit more otherworldly to those around you. And yes, you have many different soul aspects that have embodied the path of traveling to different universes, to different parts of the galaxy, and sharing their presence, sharing what is uniquely theirs to different worlds that they learned from. And so in this sense, you are offering a frequency in your world that is very, and the more that you really discover what your unique preferences and qualities of behavior are and allow them to be expressed to their fullest degree, this quality in you will be used in a very wondrous way in your life.
Okay, thank you for that. My second question is, do I have any connections to the Pleiadian energy?
Oh, yes, you do. You have certain soul aspects from Alcyon and from Maya that are present with you and working with you. And as you, again, open yourself to our energy and work with us in meditation, more of this information will come through. Again, our frequency is much about spreading love. So the more that you discover what you love and spread love in that way, the more we will be able to meet you.
Well, one of the things that I would love to do out of pretty much anything else is I would like to travel the stars and like...
Yes, we understand. Yeah. That is why we said you are a wanderer soul.
Yeah, I always had that feeling that I liked to travel a lot. And my final question is, are there any messages for me that I need to know right now?
So you must explore that desire of yours to travel the stars much more. And as you open more to these abilities to astral project and the many different techniques that allow you to be more spacey in that sense, you will find that you are, in a way, levitating, in a way, raising your frequency to a point that the reality around you doesn't seem as real. And this will be a positive thing if you trust that you can stay grounded, and that to be more spacey is not a contradiction to be just as grounded. In the way that you allow yourself to travel more, you are embodying more of your own unique desire, and in that sense, you are grounding more into who you really are. So, yes, allow yourself to enjoy this journey, and we would encourage you to experience light machines that use different frequencies of light pulsation to change your consciousness, as well as sound frequencies, and as well as the isolation from light, dark rooms and flotation tanks, as well as plant medicines in your exploration. And as you discover what each of these experiences provides in a unique way, you can then combine the experiences in a way that is tailored to your specific intention. You have the ability to go far beyond, to meet many different beings in other worlds, and trust that as you stay focused in your own loving intention, you will be protected. You will also at times in the future be able to guide others to have these sorts of experiences with greater ease.
Okay, thank you for that.
We do thank you, yes.
Thank you. Was that your last question, 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗏?
I actually did have a follow-up question on if they have any astral projection techniques that I could use.
Yes. So to again visualize yourself as a duplicate etheric version of your own body, leaving through the crown of your head or through your navel point and going up beyond you is quite a suitable technique. You must make sure that you are very relaxed, very calm, and allow your imagination to take over. Create an environment and a condition of breath, and allows you to completely dissociate from your physical world around you and enter into connection in your spiritual realm. There are many different techniques out there, and you must listen to the feeling that you have and how effective this will be for you. Because again, all of these techniques work. It is just a matter of which do you prefer the most.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, most certainly. The most important thing again is to trust in the experience that you are having, because the intention and the focus alone is enough to begin to allow you to go to those astral realms. Trust that everything is here and now, so you do not need to have such an intense experience for the experience you are having to be a real astral level experience.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Udi has a question. Go ahead.
All right.
Greetings once again.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
So I had two questions. The first one is actually about my DNA and my growth patterns. So
All right.
I'm aware that I'm told that I have Pleiadian DNA. And has that influenced my growth pattern? Because it seems that, I'm 22 years old and I'm still growing. So it's pretty unusual.
No, that is a different sort of DNA that is causing you to grow in that sense.
Okay, so is it a positive source of DNA?
Yes. It is a bit unusual, though again, remember that the more ancient civilizations on your planet were much taller. And so in a way, this is a resonance to that specific group of beings, more specifically the beings from what you call Mu.
Okay. So how long will this process go on, like this growth pattern process? I mean, how many more years do you think?
As we read the probabilities now, we would say there is a 60% chance it will go on for 3 more years.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, and I had a second question. It was about what my astral activities. So I'm aware that I'm active in the astral, but I'm really not able to remember what I do in the astral. All I know is that I'm active. So, so how do I remember my astral activities better?
Are you meaning specifically when you are sleeping?
Yes, yes. When I'm sleeping or dreaming.
So we have two suggestions. Let's start with the pre-sleep suggestion, and that is to set an intention of what you would like to experience or change in that state. If you would like to make a certain connection, hold that intention and maybe even write it down. Now, when you are waking up, also do the same thing. Really take a moment to write down the experience that you had. But first, before you start to move around so much or carry on, use your consciousness to remember the feeling first of what it was like in your dream state connection. And as you allow yourself to rest into that feeling and go more deeply into it, you will start to get different tidbits of information back from that dream state. So again, you must refocus yourself back into that astral state as soon as you regain consciousness. And with time, you will be able to go into your sleep state with consciousness and retain all of that information. Now, certain plants can help you in having a deeper connection in your dreams, and the ones we suggest would be mugwort, passion flower, and valerian.
Interesting. So it's almost bedtime for me, the place where I am, part of the world that I am in. So I'll try some of those things. One last question, follow up to my first question. What height will I finally be? Like you said, 3 more years of growth. So I'm already pretty tall. So what height will I finally be?
And how tall are you presently?
A little over 6'1", 6'2". Yes.
We are again only reading probabilities, though we are sensing that you will be about 6'5".
6'5". Oh, that's pretty tall.
Though again, your own choices and your own vibrational variants are going to influence this. So this is only one probability. You will choose at a higher level how you will ultimately grow.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you as well.
Thank you for that. There's a question from the chat from Cami. She said the relationship soul versus human being needs clarification and description. Can you talk about that?
Well, you are your soul and you are a human. So there is actually no distinction at that higher level between your human self and your soul self. You are your soul in a form. Now, your soul, as you are in this experience now, is one aspect of an oversoul. And your oversoul contains all of what you consider past lifetimes and future lifetimes and lifetimes on other planets. Yet, really, your oversoul experiences them all in one moment, as that is a more accurate experience of reality. Only the human experiences time as a line, with one moment leading to another. In reality, all of the different probable timelines and all of the past and the future are occurring right now. Now, there's a bit of a distinction between this present human experience and your soul's experience, because there are many variants on your soul. Every time you shift in your vibration, and especially every time you make a choice, you split off into parallel realities. Now, there are an infinite amount of parallel realities of your own human experience, having different past and future moments. and your soul contains all of those. So your soul is very big in that sense. And we're not even dealing with the oversoul level at this point. This is simply your soul having many different experiences. For example, 5 years ago, when you made a different decision in your life path, there's another person in a parallel universe that is part of the same soul having that experience. That is very different. And as you learn how to view between dimensions, you will be able to gain information and insight from that other version of your person, same soul. Now, there are even higher levels of oversoul beyond the oversoul that contains all of the soul aspects of past, future, and otherworldly lifetimes. There are alternate universes entirely that function in very different ways. And at one degree of your oversoul levels, you have soul aspects. Again, you are having many different degrees of experience. If you go all the way up to the highest level of oversoul, you are at source itself, where all different lifetimes of all beings in all dimensions are one being, and that is you as well. So you must come to format your consciousness so that you do not divide this being as separate from that being. Rather, they are different levels of yourself and different beings having different soul experiences, yet ultimately all are one.
Thank you. That was a beautiful answer. I always had this impression that in your life, I know that every time you make a new decision, you sort of spawn a new timeline. But I always had this impression that there's sort of in your lifetime, those seem to be innocuous and not so important. They're just another possibility. But I always have the impression that there's sort of pivotal moments that are big, where you can really pinpoint where your life took a serious turn or where your life diverged onto a very, how do you say, very strong path.
Yes.
Yeah. And I wonder, and I got the information, I called those destiny moments. Can you, and so my thought was, how much of that is sort of pre-planned, and that we're going to, how much of that is destiny guided as opposed to the sort of innocuous, I decided to eat, an apple and not an orange kind of moment?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you comment on that?
We are very excited to speak on this. So we would say first that all of it is predestined, yet you choose of which of the infinite predestined realities you experience. So in other words, again, your soul is having an infinite varieties of experiences, from those moments of choice that you call the destiny moments, and to those moments of choice that you would call the apple or the orange moments. Each of those moments are pre-existing realities that are occurring right here and now. And when you enter the physical body, all of those moments are pre-existing here and now. And so the destiny moments are higher degrees of focus. Say, for example, the apple and the orange moments lead you on different pathways. And there are certain moments that are bigger, such as the blue car versus the red car moments, you could say. They take you even into different timelines. Yet many of those different timelines that are altered by the different choice points that you make all converge at those moments you call the destiny moments. So in other words, regardless of those choices that you would make, you will still come back to that destiny moment where you are presented with a very large choice. And when you start to make a life review, you could highlight for yourself every single one of those destiny moments and use them to get a clearer relationship to yourself, an understanding of yourself, of what informed your decisions and how those decisions informed your being. Now you can start to review all of those destiny moments, as you call them, and from that understanding, then choose to see the timelines of what would have occurred if you made a different decision. Because every decision you make has compensation. So if you made that very different decision years ago, there's another version of you in a different parallel reality that learned something different. And when you allow energy to bleed through between those timelines, you can learn the lessons that they learned without going through all of the process. And you can teach them the lessons that you learned without them having to go through that same process.
I like that. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions. I don't know if, Ecclesiastes has a question. He says,
yes.
It's about the Rh negative blood type. I lost the question. Right. Let me see. It's, what is the question? Let me get to it. He says, did Rh negative blood type on this planet partially originate from the Pleiades? Thank you.
We do not want to speak on this subject right now.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So if there's any other questions, we're happy to take them. Michelle has a question. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi. So
Hello.
Hi. So I use muscle testing a lot when I do say, well, I probably overuse it because I want to make the right choice.
All right.
However, what I've been noticing, and part of the reason I was like thinking about firing my higher self the other day, I would get one answer from my higher self. I get another answer from Yeshua. I get another answer from my body. And just like, I'm like, what? I mean, I don't know. My body, as far as my comprehension of using muscle testing is that like my subconscious mind already knows the correct answer, right? And that my body knows the answer. But then I feel like, then I get different answers, like, and sometimes I don't trust it. And I want to know what causes it to have different answers if I tap into different energies. So if I just ask my body, say, it'll be like, no. And then if I ask my higher self, it'll be like, yes. And then if I ask Yeshua, it'll be like, no. And like, can you explain that idea, please?
When you are engaging in such a permission slip as muscle testing, it is very important to unite your body with your higher self and your higher mind. As oftentimes the response of your body is filtered through your belief systems. And so the response that you get will be the correct response in the sense that it is the most accurate response according to all that you know and all that you believe to be true. Yet when you connect up to that higher level, many of those belief systems are not in the way if you truly allow yourself to go beyond your human level perspective in that way. And at that level, you can then receive a more clear message, though then there comes the factor of how ready are you to embody that clearer level of perception. And as you allow your higher self to channel into this information, you connect your body with your higher self, you will accelerate the process of transforming your belief systems. And so this experience of the answer changing from yes to no, yes to no, yes to no very quickly will actually accelerate, because when that is occurring, that is the release of your own belief systems. That is the transformation of the beliefs that are in the way of your clearest level of intuitive development, your clearest level of connection with your higher self. And we would also say that you must really learn to trust that you cannot make the wrong decision. That when you make a decision that leads to something you would not prefer, that is the opportunity to gain something positive. That is the opportunity to learn about what you truly prefer and learn about the mechanics of energy that bring you into that preference. So by having that positive and accepting attitude towards whatever is happening, even before it could happen, you allow yourself to actually choose and align this reality of your preferences. In other words, the insistence on what could be lesser not happening is actually magnetizing the lesser factors into your experience. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Can we say it in a different way? because your insistence is a form of resistance. And when you are insisting on a certain outcome, you are actually distorting the mechanism that is naturally gravitating you towards your highest level of expression. So by having a great fear of something going wrong, you are actually attracting things to go wrong.
Right.
Yet when you have a clear mindset that sees that whatever happens, this will be something that I can use for my benefit, you will be able to align with that greatest timeline with greater ease. By being unaffected by the little mistakes and finding the way that you can use them in a positive way to the quickest and most accessible degree, you will really accelerate your evolution in the most profound way.
Okay, let me just say, I use this a lot when I do healing, just to make sure that like each chakra is balanced, cleared, you know, ready to go, in good shape.
Yes.
Like this is done, and it's like, definitely, are we done with this session? You know, like, so that's one way I use it. The other way I use it, like I'm going to be moving really soon, and I'm going to be like, keep or let go, keep or let go, keep or let go, because I get really wadded up in my head making decisions. So that's my cheater use of it. And sometimes I use it as a gauge of, should I do this thing? And it'll say no, and I'll do it anyway. But
all right,
I'll be like, well, I have free will.
Let's refine this a little bit. If you were asking, are these answers coming from or channeling from my own higher self?
Mm-hmm.
You want to receive all of the answers from your higher self and not from your lower mind to any degree.
Mm-hmm.
Your lower mind receives from your higher self by being in a clear state of connection with your heart. So again, make sure your heart feels open and free, or that you align yourself and focus yourself to the best degree that you can, so that you do feel that freedom in your heart in that moment. And again, ask the question, are the answers coming from my higher self?
Okay.
As well, do not use that term should, because there are no shoulds.
That is
and
correct.
You will always get a should. Yes.
I could choose.
Yes, most certainly you should. So you would ask, is this in my highest interest?
Right.
Is this in vibrational resonance with my own highest timeline? Is this in vibrational resonance with my highest good? Is this in vibrational resonance with the highest good of all beings? These types of questions are much more helpful, because you should and should not do nothing.
Right. Correct. Beautiful. Yeah, I understand that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Trinity has the last question, because we're at the top of the hour. So,
all right.
But it's gone very fast. So thank you very much.
That was exciting.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hi again. So in November, I was sick, and I tried to meditate, getting in the Pleiadian chambers, and my Pleiadian friend tried in the chambers, and he told me that there's a line and I'd have to wait some days. I was kind of confused, because I thought, last time we talked, you told me if we just intend and ask, we can get right into those chambers. Can you explain how that works, please? And was there really a line I had to wait for? Maybe because I was more astrally solid at that time? I don't know.
One moment.
Thank you.
We would say that this was your own translation of the idea that, in a way, you weren't fully ready for the full quality of energy offered by that healing chamber at that time. So there was no real line, but that was the only explanation that we could offer you at that time as to why you weren't really ready to experience the fullness of that energy. So yes, you must be really at the vibrational level of the different beings that you travel to in order to really digest that experience more fully. So some things that you can do is to really nurture yourself, to rest more, and to really inundate yourself with these high vibrational energies in the forms of sounds and scents and plants and so on and so forth, as that will help you adjust your physical body to be at that higher vibrational resonance. Though,
Okay, well,
yes, you must understand that when you work with us, we do embody some degree of a trickster-like quality. We are very loving and playful, and we may tell some jokes sometimes, and the line was a form of that.
I see. Well, the thing is, when somebody becomes physically ill, their vibration is automatically lower. So
Yes.
Yeah, keep it up and get into the healing chamber. So is it true that if
Yes, though
ask-
if your physical body is the cause of your vibration lowering, you must take a physical means to raise your vibration, such as taking a walk in nature or holding a tree, or if you cannot get outside, looking at the tree, such as taking tea or a remedy that is representative of that high vibration, surrounding yourself with objects that are representative of that high vibration, listening to music and informations that are of that higher vibration, and this will help your physical body adjust as well.
Okay, thank you. Well, I had bronchitis and I needed the chamber.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why we can't, you mean, so we can't use the healing chambers until our vibrations match chamber. Is that what you're?
You can use the chambers at any point that you wish, though you will not access all of the frequency until your vibration raises. Every time you use the chambers, you will get a deeper experience of those chambers. So continue to attempt and do not let any ideas such as a line or a joke or some distortion from your own consciousness prevent
Okay, thank you. I'm
continuing
asking.
to visit those be. And sometimes perhaps you will come to some world where you are really meant to go to another. Understand that these healing chambers exist within the realms of Sirius and Arcturus, and also on the ships of the hybrid beings that are present here for you now.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
We do thank you, yes.
Okay. Many blessings, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, our love to you as well, and we will prepare to receive you in that way very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We would ask
Yes,
you,
our
we
pleasure.
would like to just thank you very much for being here with us today. Your insight has been very, very helpful, and really your perspective is very nice to hear. So much love to you, and thank you for that.
And our blessings and our love to you as well. It is a pleasure for us to experience your reality and to expand all that is through our connection with you.
Well, thank you again, and we hope to be able to speak to you again in the future.
Yes, most certainly.
Thank you. And we just ask if you'd let Dante come back now.
All right. And we will then allow the channel to return in a moment. We would ask first if you would like one final permission slip to help to integrate these frequencies.
Of course, yes, we would always want them.
All right. All right, yes. So allow yourself to then close your eyes gently and breathe in, imagining that liquid light flows into your body through your breath. This liquid light is all around you. And we would ask you now to picture a pure channel of this energy, which we call your crystal column of light that bridges the dimensions. Picture it around your body, 3 meters in its diameter, and see flowing through this tube of light liquid crystalline energy that flows in all directions. As you breathe, more of this energy enters you, and as you exhale, this energy flushes out anything that is stagnant and no longer representing your own highest interest. Follow this tube with your consciousness downwards by seeing roots of light that grow from your heart down to the base of your spine and through your legs. And as they grow downwards, see them weaving through a crystalline grid of the earth of crystals, metals, and minerals, and a mycelium grid of the earth of the plant roots and the mushroom kingdom. They're creating an electron. Breathe into that energy and feel your own body rippling waves of magnetic light into that grid. And follow these roots of energy from your heart through your own body, down further, all the way to a solid core crystal in the center of the earth. And just imagine what it feels like around that molten hot magma, a crystal heart vibrating and beating. Imagine this vibration, and as you do, allow your body to come into resonance. This iron heart of the earth has a resonance with all of those iron molecules in your own blood. So picture it rising, like magma even, through your roots, through all these grids of the earth, creating an electromagnetic field that rises up into your heart. And feel your heart uniting with the earth's heart here. And knowing that as you open this gate, you open the realm of the elementals, the nature spirits, and the inner earth beings to come and meet you. Feel their support from below you. And then turn upwards, seeing streams of energy that move up from your heart, through your neck, through your brain, and through your face, out through the top of your head, through a gate, if you will, and traveling upwards to your moon and to your sun, and from those bodies, rippling out in this clear channel, a pillar of light that goes to all of your connected siblings. We invite you to picture this tube of light now coming to our star Alcyon and seeing its brilliant blue light. Imagine this energy and feel the light frequency stored up there. As you do this, you allow yourself to come into a more telepathic resonance with our energy, with our frequency. Allow your body, allow your consciousness and your imagination to be a receptive place from which all that you experience is a communication from us as you connect to this system. And see this blue light flowing through a crystalline wash of liquid light into your body, through all of these stars, and resting in your heart. And ask for an even greater wash as you see this tube of light connecting further and further now to the center of this galaxy, the center of the Milky Way, a supermassive black hole, if you will, in its center a pinpoint of light, microscopic in its nature, yet really a wormhole to far beyond. Rest in that state of not knowing, unknowing, that all that is beyond you can be experienced through your inner being if you simply surrender and allow. So imagine this energy from the galactic center pouring down and taking the galaxy center now into your heart to meet the Earth's energy. And seeing yourself seated in this pure crystal column of light and energy. From this state of connection, you can begin a telepathic communication with anyone above or below. You can begin a state of astral projection if you imagine yourself going beyond your body in this state of connection. You can use this energy for anything you wish. So accept this tool that we share with you as a wondrous way that you can play with connecting to other realities. And we thank you for allowing us to meet you in this way. Once more, we thank you for opening yourself to allow our frequency into your world, to transform your world, to upgrade your world, to allow the bridge between many different worlds beyond in this galaxy you call all that is extra is your own joy that expands through, bringing new energies in. They and we may seem we are beyond, though we are truly one with you, and we appreciate every opportunity we get to meet you. So our great thanks and love, and we will see you in other ways.
Welcome back. Did you need some water? Thank you. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid if I get up, the phone's gonna fall over and screw everything up.
Well, we've reached the end. That was amazing, Dante. Really, thank you very much. Some beautiful, beautiful insights and a lot of, great things to think of. And yeah, I gave my heart a good jump and a joyful beat. So,
wonderful
channeling, yeah. So thank you very much for that. And we'd love to have you back.
Thanks so much for having me again.
Yeah.
It was such a joy. It's so cool to experience like how I can just sit here and like be connecting with so many other realities around the world and so many realities up there. It's like, wow, it's a wonder it's even real.
Well, let's stay in touch and see where you are in a few months, and definitely have you back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would love to be back. I think I might still be in Peru in a few months.
Awesome. Okay, well,
and
maybe you'll have a phone, a new. Now at least you know how to do your phone. The picture was fine the whole time, so it was good. Yeah.
Oh, it's looking good.
Yeah,
I'm looking good. Pretty
You're
enough.
looking good.
Okay.
Looking good, Mr. Cutter.
Thank you. Yeah, and if I may say, I'm available for private sessions. My website is blissbeings.com, and my YouTube channel is YouTube/blissbeings, and I'm uploading new videos there and just trying to expand it. My vision for this year is to really get it taking off, and we talked a bit about the cacao, so you can just private message me or somewhere, and I can send you the link to get a discount on that cacao, and it ships very quickly to the US and Europe.
Awesome. Well, all of your information is in the information section at the bottom of the
sweet.
in the YouTube page. All your everything's there. So if anyone's trying to find you, you're there. Yeah. So
great.
So go to his channel and just immediately go there and just like it. Just go right now.
Subscribe. Bell button, all of it.
just run now. Anyway, all right. Much love to you, Dante. Next week we're gonna have Jim Charles and we'll
cool.
see everyone.
Yeah, I was listening to some of his stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So many beings.
So many beings. Yeah. Much love to everyone. See you next week.
Much love to all of you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.